Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back. So today, the Vancouver Canucks made a pair of trades, basically swapping out a couple of wingers. So let's start with the one that I'm the most interested in. So Vancouver acquires fan favorite Brendan Gallagher from the Montreal Canadiens in exchange for future consideration, which is basically just a hearty handshake, nothing essentially. So they get Brendan Gallagher at 50% retained. So he is a $6.5 million cap hit, but when they retain half the salary, it's only 3.25. So Brendan Gallagher has been the heart and soul of the Montreal Canadiens for the better part of a decade. I think he was their captain, always in the mucking it up with all the other opponents, just dragging his teammates into the fight. Unfortunately, this past year he has had a bit of a tough injury plagued season, tough getting in the lineup. He wasn't in the playoff run roster either. He only had 23 points, but for most of his career, he's been good for a point per game player. So he gets to go back home to Vancouver, actually. Pretty sure he was born in Alberta, but he grew up in Vancouver. His dad, interestingly enough, works for the Vancouver Giants of the WHL, not the Canucks, but that's still pretty interesting. So he gets to go back home and either revive his career, hopefully, because assuming he will get the ice time in a rebuilding Vancouver roster, or this might be a swan song and he retires. Although I don't think that is the case. He is only 34. He has played a rough and tumble style of play in his career that doesn't always, have players last until like their late 30s or 40s. But he's only 34, so I think he hopefully still has some game left for him. I'm rooting for the guy to recover, so fingers crossed for him. All the best wishes there. And then earlier today, Vancouver made a trade with Nashville. So Vancouver ended up getting a third-round pick in 2029 that belonged originally to Colorado. So that's like 3 years from now. So it's a pretty long ways away for that pick. But they traded away left winger Niels Hoglander, who has 2 years left at $3 million. So this past year was not a good year for him. He only had 5 points. A long way away from where he scored 24 points 2 years ago in the 2023-2024 season. But that season was always going to be hard to replicate because he was shooting at a 20% shooting percentage, which is fairly unsustainable. I mean, the best players in the world don't even shoot that high, I believe. When you see a high percentage like that, it's usually luck usually has something to do with that. You get a couple of lucky goals and maybe didn't shoot all that much that year, and then your numbers go up. So hopefully Niels Hoglander can recover his game in Nashville. Nashville famously a few seasons ago acquired a bunch of guys, and everyone was picking them to be a contender, and then that following year they flopped. That was like Stamkos, Marchessault. There was another defenseman in there, I forget. But they were really rebuilding or built up that team through free agency that year, and it didn't work out. So they've lately been kind of acquiring younger not recovery, but like young players that they feel they could rebound on this team that needs some ice time. So hopefully the change of scenery for Hoglander will be good for him because he was originally a second-round pick. I remember his draft year was touted to maybe be a first-round pick. Slipped to the second. A lot of people were saying it was a steal, but turns out it didn't actually work out for him in Vancouver. Although being a second-round pick and making the NHL, that is a success still. But you would want to see the consistency with the guy because some years he has a lot of points, and then this past year 5 points. Not sure what's going on with that, but you hope it's injury related or something. But you do see a guy sign a bigger contract and then his game falls off a bit. It is a little suspicious. You hope it is injury related or something else and not something like that. But we all have eyes. We see these sort of things, right? So anyways, those are the two trades that Vancouver made. I'm happy for Vancouver. They are a rebuilding team. They basically swap two wingers for the same price, $3 million, 3.25, and they gain a third-round pick. So good on them. Decent bit of business. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. This is another one of my ball pythons. This is a super asphalt ball python. She is very pretty, one of my favorites. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. If you like these trade breakdowns, please like and subscribe. Me and my snakes would appreciate it. And I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.